Hey guys, how's it going and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be looking at two games that have been played so far this RLCS season, and we're going to get a real contrast of styles in both of these games. This first one, we're on board with oKhaliD from Rule 1, and this is against Falcons. This is actually Game 7, this is the grand final Game 7 from the second regional of the season over there in MENA, and already a nice goal there by Atow, but of course oKhaliD's sitting pretty far back, so we didn't really get a close-up look at it, as we're going to see for a lot of this game. And the second game we're going to be looking at is actually a game from Atow, Karmine Corp's Atow, and the difference between these two games is that in this game, oKhaliD is playing extremely far back and extremely far behind the ball for a lot of the game, and Atow, by comparison, for Karmine Corp will be running ahead of the ball a whole lot more. And this is actually one of the wider, one of the stats that has a wider variance when it comes to playstyle, when it comes to game plan for teams, players. There are, some players in North America, some teams who love to get in front of the ball and try and make plays, thinking predominantly LG and Retals in particular. That's always kind of been an aspect of his game that he's tried to push since his origin, essentially. And Atow from Karmine Corp is very similar. He's a very active in front of ball player, very physical. And compare that to oKhaliD, who's on screen right now. He's always been known as a third man for every team he plays on. Every iteration of Sandrock Gaming and Falcons over the years has had oKhaliD as the defensive rock, and nothing has really changed with him now playing for Rule 1 alongside Atow and Ahmad, which, two very aggressive players, so no surprise that oKhaliD for large parts of this does sit back and just observe the field. Now, one player that, if you watch my most recent video before this, one player that I guess you're probably going to be able to see some similarities to from that video would be actually Beast Mode from G2. Beast Mode had a very similar sort of position for a lot of the plays that he ended up in the game we watched. He was behind the ball a lot, he was in defense a lot, and he was the third man a fair bit as well. Although, for this game in particular, I think it's even more extreme because Rule 1 really do get boxed completely into their half for large parts of this game. They're taking a whole pile of shots, but what they do very well in this game is they actually still manage to keep players behind the ball. It's something I think G2 over in North America do exceptionally well. It doesn't really matter what part of the field they're on, they manage to keep a lot of players between the ball and their goal, meaning that even if someone does get outplayed, there's often another challenge ready to go, and it's something Rule 1 do very well here for most of this game. Now, if you did watch my most recent video, you'll know that this is kind of the outlier. This game is the outlier when it comes to that one statistic and that one concept in Rocket League, and that is just being goal side of the ball, being behind the ball. This is in fact the game where there's the largest margin in favor of the winning team. And spoiler alert, I'm going to say who wins this before it happens. Falcons do win this game, and they do it while in fact being in front of the ball about 10% more than Rule 1 are, which is rare. Usually the behind the ball stat tends to lean towards the team who win, so the team who win are usually behind the ball more, but not in this case. This is the one game that more than any other game from top 10 teams in the world stands out. oKhaliD, they're trying to get a 50 back corner. Atow also trying to get a safe 50, doesn't materialize, and oKhaliD and Ahmad have double committed here, and this is just constant pressure from Falcons. Great 50-50 by TRK, and oKhaliD could not read that one. Lost all his momentum, lost all his boost, and could not get between the ball and his goal in time. Yeah, taking a quick look at the scoreboard, we got 9 shots for Falcons, just 2 for Rule 1. Even though this game from oKhaliD has made quite a lot of sense, apart from that one chaotic moment in the box where the ball just would not go clear despite their team's best efforts. They, double committed a couple times, and they didn't get the best touches. But yeah, well-controlled 50-50s from Falcons, just keeping the ball in that awkward end was all it took, and then Rule 1's hard work for the whole game gets completely cancelled out. Apart from that, I wonder if oKhaliD bumped Rawas into that, actually. It looked like Rawas probably had the save. But yeah, apart from that, a lot of this game has been pretty straightforward for oKhaliD to play. He's got a lot of vision of what's happening in front of him. He's got the majority of the players in the pitch, and in both teams he's got the ball in front of him for the majority of the game. So it's not been a difficult game for him to make sense of. And that's, I think, one of the contributing factors to it being quite close. When oKhaliD can be comfortable on the pitch, his teams over the years do quite well. Now, he's pulled out of that pass and tried to loop around for a second go at it. That didn't work out. Now they're in a bit of trouble scrambling back, and Rawas gets an outplay and lands on Atow, and in it goes for 2-1. And late on into this game, it is going to be Falcons winning it. Remember, this is the grand final, game 7 for the entire regional. Oh, and Kaliers has just beaten Ahmad to the ball, sorry, and made it 3-1. So suddenly it's gotten a whole lot worse for Rule 1. Falcons were able to beat them 4-1 the first time that they played in bracket this season. And that was also a grand final. And now they're beating them 4-3, it would seem, as well. Last chance for Rule 1. Ahmad leaves it for oKhaliD. Great first touch. Flip reset. And the 50-50, of course it would be a 50-50 from oKhaliD to bring them back within 1. But they need a kickoff strat here if they're going to have a chance to get back into this one. They go for this side sheet, and Rawas has rolled really well with the punch. No boost for oKhaliD either. Looks to offload. Can't get it past Rawas. And there is your confirmed game in favor of Falcons. But yeah, very interesting game there. I think that this is a much requested game after my most recent video. I think it makes sense. oKhaliD was behind the ball a lot, but I don't think Team Falcons overextended too much. They're in front of the ball play, didn't leave all that many openings for Rule 1. But yeah, Rule 1, if they can play like this, they're definitely going to be a close match for Falcons, I think. But yeah, Falcons definitely have their number right now. Number 1 team in MENA. Anyway, that's the most behind the ball loss in any of the top 10 teams in the world right now, matching up against each other so far in RLCS. This one really stands out. Now let's look at the opposite side of the spectrum, the game where a player and indeed the whole team get in front of the ball the most, but still win. That's going to be Atow for Karmine Corp. So here we are back in Regional 1 for Europe. We've got Atow POV, and his team, of course, this season is Vatira and Rise. Atow is the new Joyo. Yeah, this team have been the team to beat in Europe over the course of 2 events. They have won both of them. A lot of nations, well, a lot of regions actually having back-to-back winners. You got Karmine Corp, G2, Falcons, and Power over there, no CE, Limitless, and SSA. Just APAC and South America with the different winners from one event to the other. Yeah, already we're seeing Atow intentionally making a run ahead of the ball. Boost steal, demo being threatened is what I'm trying to say. And this is definitely a playstyle that he is very known for. He had a ton of demos per game last season with Team Liquid, and I expect to see more of that from him this season as well. Yeah, it's not just about demos when you're getting in front of the ball. I think Atow does one thing very well. You can look out for this in any of the games that you watch from him. That is keeping ball cam on instead of just going full tunnel vision when he's up front looking for demos. He actually keeps ball cam on a lot compared to other players who are trying to go for demos in front of the play. And what that allows him to do is threaten bumps and demos, because he just kind of drives into positions where he knows his opponents are going to be, and he knows that they can see him coming and they have to respect him and they have to play around him. But he also, has the opportunity of keeping exact tracking for the ball and react to passes that come towards him, making interceptions and redirects and all those kind of things that Atow's known for very possible as well. Yeah, I can actually mention new information. Well, more evidence, I guess, has come out since my most recent video where I talked about the behind-the-ball stat. We've had 2 more matchups occur in the playoff bracket between teams that are inside my top 10. Namely, it was Vitality versus Karmine Corp and Gentlemates versus BDS. And in the 9 games played between those 2 matchups, 8 of them were in fact won by the team who were behind the ball more. The other one was a marginal win for the team in front of the ball more, but it does seem to be a continued trend, and this trend is only growing as far as I can see compared to Rocket League history, where it was not quite as clear cut. So definitely one to keep an eye on over this weekend that we're currently in, where we've got Middle East RLCS already underway. In fact, they have their RLCS happening on Thursdays, Fridays and Saturdays, not the usual Friday, Saturday, Sundays that other regions have. The reason for that is that is the weekend in the Middle East, so they just start their weekend one day earlier, finish it one day before the rest of the world. And yeah, we're going to keep an eye on that one in all the regions. And if you want to see other players and teams, just let me know in the comments if you want to see more teams. I've been focusing mainly on the my top 10 teams in the world. That's the big 4 French teams from EU, the top 2 from SAM, MENA, and NA each. But there are other teams as well that are interesting when it comes to this statistic. And if you want to see any of those, just let me know in the comments. But yeah, out of my personal top 10, you've probably seen on Twitter, a few of you, these are the two games that really stand out the most. And yeah, Atow is spending a ton of time in front of the ball here. Not really too much going on with this in front of the ball play. He was kind of looking for a bump on the rotation back, which is productive, of course, to be doing that instead of just rotating back posts every single time automatically. Trying to look for interceptions and demos on your rotation back to defense is something that could work at all levels. Now that was a very aggressive jump. Now these kind of plays where he's landing in the opposition half, I don't expect him to do that all that often if he's only got one defender behind him, if he's only got Vatira, Rise by themselves at the back. But the fact that both of them are there, and the fact that he was going to land with momentum, you know, it was boostless, but he had momentum, so the recovery was there, probably makes it a little bit more enticing. But speaking of in front of the ball plays, well, it's actually Gentlemates who open the scoring here with one of their own. There's the quick glance at the stats as we get into the final minute of the game. That other fake kickoff outcome for KC is, of course, the diagonal fake into the back corner player, and the pre-jump pass gets intercepted. In this game, I do remember it well. It looked like Gentlemates were going to be tying the series, but clutch play from KC at the end here tells you otherwise. And yeah, I know somebody's probably listening again. I'm sorry for spoilers. That's not the purpose of this. The purpose of this video is not to to try and you know, show you guys a result. This is a bit of an old result already. It's a few weeks old, so I imagine most of you already know the result of Regional 1. Yeah, Karming Corp do really well at the end of this game. I want you to know it's coming so you can pay attention to it. And one thing that you'll like from them, if you like seeing front of the ball physical play, is the air dribble bump passes. There's one, and then Vatira, inspired by Atow's play, air dribble bump passes off the ball. We're going to rewind actually just to see, because you didn't see it on camera there, but there are two air dribble bump passes in a row here. Atow, air dribble bump pass to Vatira, air dribble bump pass to Rise. Atow as well delayed Juicy's arrival with his own ground bump in the follow-up, and then Rise ties the game with 8 seconds left. Now, more than any other team in my top 10, KC are using those kind of air dribble bump passing plays to perfection. There's the double kickoff and the demo. I know this is another play that a lot of you have already seen, but phenomenal stuff from KC. They've tied the game with a double air dribble bump pass setup, and then they've mixed up their kickoff again, gone for that double kickoff. I've got a video about that if you want to take a closer look at what happened there. But yeah, there are a bunch of pro teams that are trying it now. It does seem to be a great mix-up to throw into your repertoire, and you can try that one at home with your own friends in ranked. But yeah, definitely a real difference in terms of play style there between Atow and oKhaliD. They are very different players when it comes to positioning and just decision making in Rocket League. oKhaliD is a lot more focused on recovering as quickly as possible. Atow a little bit more happy to linger upfield for whatever reason, and just you know, make plays in front of the ball, trusting his teammates behind him, whereas oKhaliD tries to let his teammates make plays in front of him and back them up. Very interesting to see. That, you know, they could both work. Both those games were very close games, and in one of them the team behind the ball more rule 1 took the L. In this case, the team behind the ball more, which is actually in both these games, the team behind the ball more took the L. These are actually the two biggest outliers, I'd say. But yeah, this is the instance of a team being in front of the ball in Europe or North America by a long shot, and you can really see the difference that makes. But like I said earlier, guys, that's all we're going to be looking at today. So if you do have any more games, any more players, any more teams you want me to take a closer look at in this kind of way, talking about positioning and decision making and play styles, then let me know in the comments. But yeah, good luck to all the teams and players trying to qualify for RLCS this weekend. The MENA guys they're playing right now, actually, at the time I'm recording this, so I'm going to go and see how they're getting on. But for all of you watching, thanks again for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed this closer look at Atow, oKhaliD, and the behind the ball stat that is just completely overpowered. And yeah, have a great rest of your day or night or whatever, wherever time it is where you are. Have a great time, and I'll see you all in the next one.